Hi, Jack Bennett here. Today we're going to look at playing doubles on the bass drum in a 16th note context, and I'm going to give you a little permutation exercise that will show you how to play on any two 16th notes side by side in a bar of 4/4. So that's something that we do all the time, whether we're playing on the first and the second 16th, or the second and the third, the third and the fourth, so the 1E and A, or the last 16th, the 4th 16th, then going on to the next beat. So, okay, so this first exercise is just going to look at playing the downbeat, so beat 1, 2, 3, or 4 of every bar of 4/4, and also the second 16th as well. So 1E, 2E, 3E, 4E, 1. And depending on, there are 4 exercises here, so if any of them give you trouble, obviously spend the most amount of time on the one that's giving you trouble. But ideally, you probably want to work through it as an entire exercise, maybe playing 4 bars of each one and then moving on to the next one. So the first one is 1, 2, ready, go. 1E, 2E, 3E, 4E. 1E, 2E, 3E, 4E, 1. The only thing that we do in addition to that is that we put 8th notes on the hi-hat. So as far as the hands go, it's a really basic thing. It's just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So pretty much the first thing you ever learn in a rock beat with the hands, okay? So just making sure that in your head you're subdividing subdividing 16ths, whether you're actually counting 1E and 2E and in your head, if that works for you, or at least just hearing some kind of sound just going so that if you can hear it in your head, there's a really high chance that you'll be able to play it. But if you're just sort of shooting in the dark and hoping for the best with your right foot, probably not going to work. So make sure you're always subdividing in your head. Alright, so here we go. I'll do it really slow to start with, and then I'll speed it up. 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1. Bit faster. In the second exercise, you take that double bass drum and you shift it across by 1/16th note, and it means that instead of playing on the first and the second 16th of every beat, you now play on the second and third 16th of every beat. So it's now 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1. With the hands, that sounds like this: 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and. Now, just while I think of it there, yes, this is an exercise in being able to play accurately on the bass drum, but as you go through, because we're doing it in like a beat context and not just practicing the bass drum on its own, you've got to make sure, like with any of your drumming, that when you're playing two things together, like in that case I was playing the and hi-hat, the and of every beat, 1 and, at the same time that I was landing the second of the double with the foot. I was going 1E and then 2E and 3E and. Got to make sure that they land together if they're supposed to land together, and not kind of, not sort of splitting. Any kind of split where 2 limbs or 3 or 4 limbs are supposed to land in unison as one sound, anytime you get even these micro splits, basically little inaccuracies, that's kind of what kills the groove. So as you're going through, of course you're going to be focusing on your right foot and trying to really get that accurate, but just make sure that it's accurate as far as everything else that you're doing as well. Alright, so there's a little bit to think about. Alright, that's the second exercise. Now, again, let's shift that double bass drum across by 1 more 16th, and instead of being on the second and third, the 1E and, it will now be on the 1E and A. Alright, 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and Okay, so these are very much exercises. I mean, it'd be pretty rare to be playing a song where you'd be playing that pattern the whole way through the song or something like that. But the point is to have this as some vocab that you can draw on if that's what's required, okay? That's the third exercise, and then the fourth exercise we move again across by 1/16, and it means that the first of the double comes in on the 4th 16th, and the next double gets pushed all the way over to the next beat. All right, so we start this one like this: 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. So it's kind of like playing the samba ostinato figure with your right foot, but obviously not in a samba context. It's just like a rock pop sort of groove. So we've got 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. As you get more comfortable with it, speed it up. Okay, and then once you get more comfortable with any of these ideas, of course, you can start adding in extra things. I won't do a little lesson on that just yet, but of course, extra 16th notes with the hi-hat, extra 16ths on the snare, little ghost notes and things, maybe a couple of extra accents and stuff. Okay, so as I said, these are just exercises. They might fit a song really well. You might need to do a really repetitive thing, but as I said, it's more about just having the vocab there. If you need it, you can draw on it, and it's trying to fill out and have the complete ability to play any of the 16ths. You know, sometimes we get really comfortable with maybe playing one of them, like you might be really good at going, but maybe playing this one, maybe that gives you trouble. Okay, so if that's the case, you want the complete knowledge, you don't want the semi-knowledge. Yeah, so really check that out. It's a good little exercise. Just take it really slow to begin with. It's not a speed thing, it's an accuracy thing. You know, grooves, very rarely are grooves played really fast. A lot of music, it's just a medium tempo thing or even a slow thing. So just check that out. Make sure it's really accurate and play it with a metronome. If you can have an app on your phone that's a metronome and you've got the 16th or even the 8th note subdivision in it, that's a really good thing to practice too, because that will help identify where you have a tendency to speed up or slow down, or you're really not nailing the time. So always practice everything to a metronome if you can. And there you go. That's a little exercise on developing 16th notes as doubles on your bass drum. Thanks for watching.